Overall, Knives Out is a fun, solid watch that does a really good job of breathing new life into the murder mystery genre while bringing a fresh twist to the typical plot structure, and also does a good job paying homage to its clue-based murder mystery theme without an over-reliance on these sort of references and callbacks. And although the humor is a bit hit or miss in my opinion, I think overall it does a good job of tying together some lighter moments with the overarching murder mystery. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give it a Sapien score of 7.7 bananas. If you want absolutely no spoilers, now is your time to dip on out of here because I'm going to get into a more detailed look at the good and the bad. As for the good, I think in my opinion, the strongest part of this movie is just the way the story was structured and how it kind of goes against the grain of the typical plot line, in the fact that you actually see the murder scene in the very beginning and you know what's going on the whole time while the characters are obviously oblivious to this fact. It's definitely a breath of fresh air in this sort of genre of movie, which is so typically just something happens, you piece together the clues, and then at the end there's a reveal. It kind of turned that whole formula on its head, and I think it did a really successful job of that. I also think that this movie did a great job of using clue and kind of references and call-outs to the board game without making that its entire shtick and using it as a crutch. Lastly, I think it tied together well with such a large ensemble cast, which is pretty difficult to do, to be honest. And although there were definitely some better characters and some weaker characters, overall I thought the acting was pretty strong across the board, with standout performances by Ana de Armas, Daniel Craig, and Chris Evans. As for the bad, I wasn't a huge fan of Daniel Craig's accent. I think it was a little goofy and over the top, and it didn't really fit in my opinion. I think it would have worked just as fine if he had just done his normal British accent, but this is just kind of me nitpicking, and also it's probably because it takes me out of the movie a little bit because I'm so used to seeing him as James Bond. Although I understand it was probably an artistic choice to be so over the top with the characters and everything, I think it kind of detracts a little bit because when everybody is so over the top, nobody is. And some of the characters just kind of get lost in the ensemble cast. And I also think that the humor, it just wasn't really for me. At parts, I found it was just trying too hard to be funny and edgy, and it just came off a little awkward. Anyways, those are my quick thoughts on Knives Out. I definitely recommend it to most folks out there, especially if you're looking for a kind of fun, lighthearted murder mystery movie. Definitely doesn't have too much rewatchability in my opinion, but nevertheless is a solid and fun watch. Thanks for tuning on in. We'll catch you next time. Adios, amigos.